moment to reflect, what a win like that, what a playoff berth, what a Southeast Division title kind of means to this group and to this organization after that moment on Sunday?
Absolutely did. We absolutely did. Being able to feel the energy first from the fans, how it felt for the organization, the excitement and the joy of these guys and what they had done because of the last week or so, and it wasn't going where everyone wanted it to go. But then we found a way to get it done in that order. Being able to do it at home in front of our fans for that final game, it was very big.
Lou, when the Clippers were in town, called the playoffs a different season. Is that how you approach this, or how do you view this experience in the playoffs?
Well, there's a great part about us being able to break the game down towards the end of the season. We were doing 5-game segments, so these guys understand what we were doing in each one of those segments, if we were playing good basketball or the things that we needed to improve. So we'll treat the playoffs very similar. It is its own season. It's a different beast, and guys that will understand that a little bit more once we get in there, but also knowing that we have to still do the things that got us to this point.
How much of these guys getting their first playoff experience ever, how do you kind of make sure the moment doesn't get too big for them and kind of continue to do the things that they've been doing all year?
I think in these moments, and we as a staff continue to talk about it, we just have to be more of who you are and what we've done to this point. We've been in big games, we've been in big moments, and you guys asked a lot of the questions during the year when we played Sacramento, when we played the Clippers, when we played Golden State, when we go to Denver, when you play Minnesota at Minnesota. These are all big games that these guys have all been a part of. Some come away with wins, some come away with losses, but those all have been big moments that these guys have been a part of.
When you think about where you started when you got here, 3 years ago now, it's been 3 seasons, can you believe that this moment has happened kind of so quickly?
Yes, I can believe it.
Why is that?
Because it's the group that we have, and we never wanted to change courses. We focused on our work and who we were as a group, as an organization. We talked about being able to level up each and every single year, being able to work every single day, play with a sense of joy, play with a sense of passion for one another, to defend at a high level, to make sure we're sharing the basketball. And so that was whether we were winning or losing, but we stayed the same in how we embodied our work.
Well, you said it there, belief, right? This team has said from the beginning they believed they would be here. How important has their belief in self, belief in each other been? How important will it continue to be?
It's huge. I think anything you do in order to gain a level of success, you have to believe in what you're doing before you do it. And our guys really do believe before they even saw what it was going to be. Talking to a bunch of them this summer, that was the thought process. After coming off of what we did, the end of last year, they could see it, in front of them. And now their ability to recognize that now and having these meaningful games that throughout the year, they understood exactly what they have to do in these moments. Well, the first time we played them, I think, they shot the lights out. We shot 2 for 23 from 3. The next time we played them, I think it was an even matchup. There's been bodies out each and every single time. The next time we played them, it's just been back and forth the entire time. And so it's a 2-2 even split. But I think even with that, there's never been a full cast on either side. So you can take the concepts, you can take what they're going to do, what they're going to run, what we're going to run, how we're going to have to defend. Those concepts are one thing, but once you have a full cast and a team, then now it's about the adjustments once you've gotten into game one.
You mentioned the team going in right now.
We're fully healthy.
You mentioned how was practice today?
I thought practice was fantastic. The guys did a great job of communicating, understanding what the game plan is going to be going in, how we want to execute, the things we need to take away, the things we're willing to live with, offensively, how we want to move and share the basketball. But the one thing that I continue to tell them is it's about us being more who we've been, just detailing the work and not allowing us to beat ourselves.
You mentioned that it's about this team staying true to its identity. How do you balance that with preparing for a specific opponent with the kind of detail that the playoffs team will require?
Well, I think going in, playing them 4 times, going back and looking at some of that film again, it goes back to being what the concepts are. How do we stop certain things? How do we execute a little bit better offensively in certain areas? So just tightening up on those details is what we're going to have to continue to do. And obviously they're going to make some adjustments, but you don't want to go into the game trying to overthink what they could possibly do or not do. You have to focus so much on what you're doing and how you can execute at a higher clip each and every single time you touch the floor.
The celebration is over for making the playoffs. Have you noticed the guys more dialed in now, knowing what's on the line?
Yes, absolutely yes.
Oftentimes, the coaches will look to crunch their rotations down for the playoffs. You played 11 guys on Sunday, and you feel confident and you have trust in everybody on the roster. But how do you look to make those adjustments yourself?
You make them in game. I think that what happened against Milwaukee is a lot of feel, a lot of understanding exactly what's happening within the game. And because we have such a deep team and we've always said we're going to do it by committee, you trust anybody you put on the floor to do their job in that moment.
What do you remember about your first playoff series as a coach, and how has your stops in the league kind of helped prepare you for this one?
My first playoff series, I believe, was in Denver. It might have been Utah, maybe my first one. I'm not. I gotta go back and remember exactly what that was. I'm gonna remember. I'll get that done back to you.
But as a coach throughout the years being in the playoffs, how has that kind of prepared you and your staff for this moment?
Just the right type of preparation. I think a lot of times you want to make sure you're preparing the guys, but not flooding them with too much information, because you want them to focus on their instincts and their ability and their feel for the game more than you just want to flood them with a bunch of things that we already know. But you got to make it as simple as possible for these guys so they can go out and execute and take what the game is giving them, versus overthinking what we've said. And that's been an important part for our guys, having all of the right information at the right time and being able to execute it the right way.
You got some Coach of the Year votes. How does that feel to be recognized by the other coaches in the league?
Well, first of all, congratulations to Mark. I think he's done a phenomenal job down there with those guys. The way in which they play, the style that they play, how they execute, how they're detailed, how they're prepared for every single game. He's done such a fantastic job with them. That's the biggest piece for me. And I think just being able to be recognized amongst your peers, just like guys that make an all-star game or they win, player of the week. You know that if you're recognized by your peers, which says a lot.
How critical will it be for your defense to pick up Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland so that you don't lose them, that you identify them early?
Can you repeat that again?
Identifying and picking up Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell early, how important will that be defensively?
Well, I think it's big. You want to do anything that you can help yourself create an advantage within the game. But I'm not going to give you the game plan now. So that if anybody picks this one up, they can run back to it and tell exactly what we're going to do. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Paolo, after a big win like you guys had on Sunday, clinched a playoff for the Southeast Division title, did you take a moment to reflect and kind of think back to all the work and stuff that it took to get here?
A little bit. I would say it just feel like it happened super fast more than anything. But yeah, just looking back, last year, getting drafted and everything, it's pretty cool to just see where we're at. But I feel like everything's happening pretty fast. So less sitting back and reminiscing, more just getting excited for what's to come.
How critical were these last 2 days off, just kind of reload your body? How are you feeling physically after an 83-game season?
I feel great. I feel a lot better than I would have thought. If you would have told me I would play 80 out of 82 and been in the playoffs, I probably think I'd be feeling a lot worse. But I feel pretty good. So.
How does it feel to be practicing still right now?
It feels good. It feels natural. Like I told a couple people, last year, once the season got over and you're watching the playoffs from home, just being in the NBA and experiencing that, it didn't feel right. So I'm glad that we in postseason.
You guys have played Cleveland 4 times, and you've seen them on film with full pass as well. What challenges do they present? What are your takeaways from what you've seen from them so far?
They got pretty good personnel for both ends of the floor. They got good guards who can create and score, shoot, and defensively they got wings, they got bigs, who can switch and use their length to affect you. So we're just gonna have to be smart with how we attack, and on defense we're gonna have to be locked in on some of their best players and box out as well. They're a good rebounding team.
Are you eager to experience that first crowd pop of a road playoff game? Do you experience that better?
I definitely am. I'm sure it'll be similar to a big college game or something like that. We've been in some fun games this year, but I think the playoffs will be another level.
You mentioned those big games that you played in recently. everybody kind of, when asking the playoff feel of those games, what do you talk about as maybe the biggest takeaways from those that you can implement as you actually play in the playoffs?
I would just say don't change much up. Keep doing what we've been doing. The crowd and all that is going to play a part, I'm sure, but at the end of the day, that's just noise. So if we're locked in and we're playing how we know we can, we should be fine.
Coach kind of talked about, like, you guys got to need to worry about just kind of doing what you do. You don't overthink things. What's been the message like in practice and in kind of the early prep now that the playoffs are on the horizon and we're kind of getting into this mode? Yeah,
just like you just said, not overthinking, but just being super focused as a group, super locked in on the game plan, what we're trying to do, to gain the advantage. But at the same time, just continuing what we've been doing all year, which is, sticking together, giving 100% on the court and just pouring into each other.
I know we're not at Saturday yet, but does it feel different? Does this week feel a little bit different yet, or is it just like not going to hit everyone until you get to Cleveland on Friday or Saturday?
Yeah, I don't think it feels very different. Just with us playing them as many times as we played them. I think we played them twice in preseason, 4 times in the regular season. So we know them very well. They know us very well. So it does feel kind of regular, just prepping for them. But obviously the environment, the atmosphere, the lights and everything will be a little different. But I'm just looking forward to getting out there and competing again.
Paolo, the last few road games in the regular season didn't go your way. What do you guys need to do differently? Like, can you pinpoint anything where you can say, okay, this was an issue and we can address that and correct it as we go to Cleveland for the first 2?
I would say probably starting off better, getting off to better starts would be the main focus heading into the game 1 and 2 on the road. Just not falling into a hole early, trying to start the game off well, and then after the first quarter we'll be fine.
When defenses want to force you left, how do you either combat or get back to the side you want to?
You said force me left?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's my offhand, so I'm sure some defenses try to do that just to mess you up a little bit, but I'm comfortable going both ways. Obviously I probably get to my right more often just because I'm good at it, but if a team wants to completely send me left, then I'm sure there'll be ways I'll take advantage. I'm just not like I'm uncomfortable going left. I'll sure find a way to figure it out.
Oh, last year you were saying playoffs are bust. You guys obviously did that. How do you make sure? What do you remind yourself to not make the moment too big as you're entering into this?
I don't think the moment's too big. Not only for me, for anybody. We've been talking about it since before the season, so you don't talk about something that you're scared of doing. So I think everybody's just excited and ready to go.
Has anybody reached out to give any advice leading into the first series?
No, not yet. Not yet. I think all my OGs is probably letting me be right now, give me my space, which I appreciate. But I haven't received any advice yet.
Did you watch the 2 playing games last night? And if you did you see that urgency that all 4 teams played with? And was it any different from?
I watched the games. Thought they was both good basketball, but honestly speaking, it didn't seem too much different than the couple last games we've played, just in terms of intensity. I think the intensity's been like that for the last, I would say, week and a half, 2 weeks of the season. So, like I said, you can't get in your head too much about, oh, this is the playoffs, this is like some big, bad, scary situation. Like, it's basketball. Like I said, we played this team 6 times this year. So, you can't, if you go into it with that mindset of the moment, focusing more on the moment than the actual task, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Everybody good?
Thanks, man. Division title. Do you take a moment to reflect, and if so, what do you kind of look back on that journey?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, looking back, not just on this year, but since I got drafted, obviously the process started before that even, but like I said after the game, I think it's really cool that we learned together as a group and grew together as a group in these last couple of years, and we can now kind of enjoy this just together a little bit.
What do you remember about the first regular season meetings with the Cavaliers, and what can you take away from those?
Extremely physical team. Very similar makeup to us, tall team that plays really physical on defense, and on offense, obviously their guards, I think Mitchell and Garland. We split a 2-2 this series, so it should be a really fun series.
How dangerous is someone like Donovan Mitchell?
Extremely dangerous. Obviously, all-star and has had a huge playoff series before, so We for sure got to lock in on him and have adjustments ready as well.
How eager are you to experience a road playoff atmosphere for the first time?
Yeah, I'm super excited. You watch it as a kid, you hear about it once you get here, and I think everybody's really excited to kind of feel that atmosphere. And even days like these, when you're really prepping for a team, we haven't had that. So just trying to take the whole experience in and enjoy it a little bit.
I feel like this is the kind of team that will embrace that. I don't want to say that you're going to go in there and try to get the attitude, but I feel like this is the kind of group that can embrace that road dog mentality and get a win.
For sure, I feel like we've had that mentality all year. Coming into the season, nobody expected us to have this kind of season, so we got to have that same approach, same belief in ourselves, and I think we got the group to do it.
Is there a change in attitude right now from these past few days in terms of getting ready for playoffs? Or is it kind of how it's been all year?
Yeah, we talk a lot about just being ourselves, and you don't have to do anything special, but obviously it's a different approach. Like I said, it's a different detailing of things, and obviously get to look at the Cavs closer than we can during the regular season.
Obviously, you had the ankle at the end of the year, but how do you feel physically after a couple of days off going into the series?
I feel fine, feel good, ready to go.
You guys have often been overlooked this year. The new, younger team, now that you're playing teams that are more experienced in the playoffs, what do you say to those people that don't have as high expectations as you may have?
They don't really matter. All the people that matter are the ones in this building and in the locker room. So, we're gonna try to go in Cleveland and play our best basketball. And like I said, I think our approach, our mentality shouldn't change from during the regular season.
You mentioned that does this week feel different? Just kind of hit you that the playoffs are coming, or is that something that's not going to hit you until game one tips off and you kind of feel that energy in the building?
Yeah, obviously, no. I would say the energy shifted already a little bit. Never in the season you have a couple of days off, and get to refocus mentally a little bit. So I think that alone is different. But like I said, obviously the game planning and how detailed we're talking about our opponent is way different.
Do you see any similarities between preparing for the playoffs and what you and Mo went through last summer
The similarity is that it's the time that matters and it's the important games, and I think everybody's focus has to go to an even higher level. I think we had a similar approach to the game against Milwaukee and even Philly, where we looked at those games as do or die games, and I think just playing every possession like it really matters, and I can make a difference at the end. I think that's the biggest difference. That focus part. Yeah.
Thanks, Franz.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Franz.